Right, welcome, ladies and gents. It's the James Gunn Show, and I don't think that's a good thing, to be honest, with respect to DC. So, a few things to tackle here. Superman, James Gunn is relieved by the movie's success. This is what he said in a new interview, and said that basically he's no longer concerned with the life and death of the DC brand. So, that actually goes some way to explaining and confirming that yeah, everything rested on Superman, which we knew, but he sort of denied at one point, even though he admitted it another. Now he's admitted it again. But also, like I said, it's just the James Gunn show. So he's now writing the screenplay for Super Family, and also speaks about Peacemaker Season 2 plans. I don't think DC being the James Gunn show is good. I don't think that's good at all. Why is James Gunn writing the Super Family screenplay? I thought DC was a collaborative approach. Bit of an odd one, I think. And I think it's a bit of a shame, actually, that this seems to be the way that they're going. So, thought we'd cover it. Because I don't think this is the way forward for superhero movies. I don't care about superhero movies. I want superhero movies to go, to be honest. You know, I know loads of people are really keen on them. And I'm one of these people that didn't hate Superman, quite frankly. But I feel like they're kind of dead now. And this is like the last breath. They're just sort of holding on for hope. Anyway, so hit subscribe if you're new here. Do turn those bell notifications on. Trying to hit over 50% of people watching being subscribed. So if you could help to that, that'd be great. If you're one of those returning viewers that aren't yet subscribed. Anyway, Superman. Was it a huge success? No. But he is doing a tour, effectively trying to get people to believe that it's not a huge failure. Now, it might not be a huge failure, but it's not been a huge success. It hasn't been a huge success. And as it says here, when Superman arrived in theatres last month, it received positive reviews, 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, and looks set to end 2025 years as the highest grossing superhero movie with over $600 million worldwide. So the blockbuster may not be $1 billion hit, but for a brand that was on life support after flops like The Flash, Joker Folie à Deux, Superman's success is a big win for DC Studios. Sure, I guess so, but you need to lower the budgets. So now all eyes will be on Supergirl and Clayface next year, you know, to see whether they can keep the momentum going, which maybe they will. Who knows? Again, it's all about the budgets. But these movies are no longer, you know, the blockbuster hits that are going to be keeping theatres alive. They're just not. So in a new interview, DC Studios co-CEO and Superman writer-director James Gunn was asked if he feels a sense of relief after seeing the reception to the movie. And he says, that's all it is. It's just an enormous sense of relief. It's relief and then followed very quickly by excitement. Because Superman, in some ways, was the proof of concept. You know what's funny? Loads of people said this. Loads of people said that this movie was going to be a proof of concept for them to sell it. Now, they might not be selling it, but they did say it was going to be proof of concept. So they weren't wrong. It was so hard in the same way that Guardians was so hard. Once you're in the groove, you realise, oh, this is what works. This is what doesn't. This is where we can go with this. That's interesting. Is he saying he just followed Guardians? Kind of looks like he's saying he just followed the Guardians blueprint, but alright. It means now we have the freedom to tell these other stories in a way that's really exciting. Now I can just be creative, and I don't have to be as concerned with the life and death of the DC brand as I was a month and a half ago. Right, so literally everything rested on Superman then. So as for the audience reception to Superman, Gunn is understandably pleased with how the movie has resonated. However, he doesn't intend to approach every DCU movie he takes the helm of in the same way. But it seems like he's doing everything. All the movies. I feel really embraced by the audience. My feeling is that the movie spoke to people, but it also spoke to people because there was a reason for its existence. There was this message of kindness that spoke to people. That doesn't mean every story I'm going to tell is a message of kindness. It just means there needs to be a reason for the story to be told. I mean, that's true. I think that's fair. You can't just be piling on stuff because it's the characters people liked. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't see an issue with that, actually. I think that is a fair comment to make. You know, movies have to justify their own existence. Like, there has to be some kind of story. I mean, what's the story behind Super Family then? What's the point of that? I kind of get where they're going with Supergirl. But what's the point of Super Family? Them clashing? If we've seen their individual stories and their individual sort of worldview outlooks in a movie, why do we need to see them clash? Because surely they're both grappling with how they see the world or the world sees them. And then they've come to terms with that during their own arcs. So I don't see the point of a super family, but alright. So anyway, basically, he spoke to Deadline, and Gunn confirmed that he's done with the movie's treatment, so super family. And this lines up with the comments that he made yesterday that suggested the DC Studios co-CEO is targeting a 2027 release for Super Family. I mean, what? That is a quick turnaround. So he says that treatment is done. I'm now into the screenwriting phase. I'm really happy with it. We're already prepping and figuring out where we're shooting. That will not be too long. So he says it's within the group of characters we've already met. And Superman is an important element of it. Interesting. Really interesting. So he says, the first time I wrote a rough outline of Season 2, so this is the Peacemaker, it had to do with other white supremacist superheroes who were after Peacemaker for killing his father because he was their comrade. For me, it played a little bit too much like Season 1, and I wanted to turn the story on its heels. I wanted Peacemaker to be this character who had to really deal with the ramifications of his actions in Season 1 and deal with his emotional reality of the demons that he discovered in Season 1. And how does he face that? That seemed too much. Seemed to work much better for that. Sure, fine. But does this not seem to be turning into the James Gunn universe? Seems to be. And everything did rest on Superman's shoulders, it seems. So, interesting. Really interesting. You know, and now he's basically come out and, again, it is the James Gunn universe. So, he's now confirmed that there's going to be 4 movies, basically. So, he spoke about wider plans for the DCU and says, what is in the long term I'm telling here? What is the story that I'm going to tell about Superman over 4 movies? So, presumably that's Supergirl, Super Family, and then another one, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Weird. So he was asked, are the crypto shorts canonical? No. I didn't know there were crypto shorts, to be honest, but alright. So there you go. I just think this is a bit meh. It's the James Gunn. It's the James Gunn DU or whatever, DCU. Could be good, could be bad, but they need to lower the budgets. These are mental. And sitting there saying that, you know, Superman was life or death at a certain point. That reveals everything we needed to know. But lower the budgets, man.